Hello! Welcome to Serial Killer. I'm Maria Spertolozzi.
Oh my god, I'm Anastasia Washington.
I figured I'd just do it now so that we don't forget again.
Well, that is the goal, is actually to do it.
We do it first. And then everyone moving forward knows what we sound like. And can put a name to a voice. Or it'll be like when I listen to Invisibilia and I have no idea which host is talking.
So she's Maria.
I'm Maria.
I'm Anastasia. I'm Greg. You would know who Greg is if you watched it on YouTube.
Yeah.
So this week we have a very boring serial to go with a very interesting murder.
I know, I'm not sure this...
The serial,
so this does not fit the crime.
No, but when I was doing all this research, I was like, if there was like some promotional Hateful Eight cereal, that would fit.
I'm so glad there's not a Hateful
But there's not,
Eight.
and I'm glad there's not. But that was like my first thought, was like, if some stupid Hollywood producer had been like, Quentin, let's do a cereal, then that would be our cereal this week. Because that movie also takes place in one giant room where a lot of people get murdered.
Oh God, I don't even want to get into it, but I do, but I don't. I do, but I don't. Yes. So we picked it based on
location more than anything.
Right. And I was like, not that Cornflakes is Kansas,
but like corn, Kansas, it's, Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska is all like the Great Plains, fields of wheat and stuff. But so we just picked Cornflakes because I do associate corn with Kansas. I don't know if that's correct or not because again, I've only driven through Kansas. I've never stopped
If
there.
you're from Kansas and you know a better cereal for us to represent
Kansas, please
let us
call
know because we would. Don't call in because
that's right. There's nowhere to call. Don't call us. Don't find our phone numbers. Please don't call us.
Please don't. Just like tweet us or something.
I also never answer my phone. So
I definitely do. I don't answer my phone, and sometimes I get mad when people call me, and I was like, oh, this is actually what it's for.
You are supposed to call me, and then we communicate that way. That's right. That's right.
That's stupid. You're dumb now, Anastasia. So we picked Cornflakes. Because it's very American. Kansas is very America.
Yeah, it was. They were invented in like the late 1800s or something.
Yeah,
it's like they've been around forever.
Yeah, so this is like a classic cereal.
It's a classic cereal for a classic American homestead.
And it says, our best in every bite.
And then
with corn grown on American farms.
See, so it's still grown in America.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows where the rest of it is made, but it's grown in America.
It's grown in America.
And then on the back is a recipe for crispy chicken tenders, which I have made before and are really good.
It's actually a very good breading.
It's really, really good. Cornflakes make a really good breading.
Can I tell you a little bit of a secret, though?
What?
That's not quite of a secret because you can find places that do it all the time. If you take Frosted Flakes instead and bread your chicken, and you can put a little hot and sweet thing. That's really good.
Lovely.
That's great. So I'm going to try this dry.
Yeah, try dry. Don't smell it because it just smells like cardboard because it's just corn.
No,
it does not smell appealing. You just smell in a cardboard box.
That's boring.
I love cornflakes.
Dry like that?
No, I would never eat cornflakes dry. This is not a snack cereal.
Can I tell you though, it's not horrible.
It doesn't taste bad.
It's just boring.
It's really boring, and cornflakes dry are too dry.
Yeah.
It's like thing where if you eat, the saltine challenge is what I feel like when I eat cornflakes dry.
Which, can I tell you, I thought I could do that. Nobody's business. Because I eat a whole sleeve of
saltines in a minute.
And LaCroix or what's it called? Ginger ale.
Yes.
That was my bulimia diet, you guys. You're welcome! It's called Truth Bomb, Truth Bomb,
Also the diet of models everywhere.
Well, I am a model.
There you go.
I'm a plus size model now, but
still a model.
My bulimia years were sleeves, and so when they were doing that challenge, I was like, I can do this, and I'll report back and say I cannot.
No, it's a lot harder than you think it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a lot more
know that
difficult.
now.
In high school, to learn about the way that you like chew and swallow your food in my biology class, we did something with saltines where we had to chew it like 65 times or something, and we couldn't swallow until we chewed 65 times, and then we had to like write down what it felt like in our mouth and all this weird stuff, and it was like,
should we do that with cornflakes?
take a handful and then chew it 65 times and then tell me what it's like.
I'm scared.
That's awful. The only purpose was to be like, your saliva breaks down your food and then you can swallow it easier.
Oh, was that the point? I already knew that. I'm good.
Yeah, exactly. It was like we were, 9th grade biology class.
I feel like you should know that by 9th grade as well. But that's okay.
No.
Let's try
let's eat some cornflakes. I know I like them. They're very boring though, guys. This box is even very boring.
It's so huge.
It's the smallest box they have.
That's what I didn't really
You
get.
didn't wanna?
I didn't get Rice Krispies strawberries.
Oh yeah. Then I'd have this giant box.
Yeah, and we have been finding creative ways to get rid of cereal.
We have.
Oh, there's an update,
Yes!
you guys!
Yes.
Oh my god. So, our friend, weeks ago, we hid a cereal.
One cereal box, the Cookie Crisp, yeah.
And I really want him to do a dramatic reenactment of his reaction. So we're gonna have
we have to get him on the show to do his favorite
we're gonna have
murder.
we're gonna have to get him on the show to come on here and talk about his favorite murder and eat a bowl of cereal with us and to recount the terror that we apparently caused by hiding.
Well, I can understand to some degree of like someone has been in my room, like did they touch anything, did they take anything, but the fact that it was like cereal, he listens to the podcast, like he knew it was a cereal we had used and was like, what happened, who was in my room?
So we're definitely gonna have him on the show to discuss this.
Reenact that for us.
For the holidays or something.
Yes!
You can pick a
Perfect.
holiday.
A holiday murder.
Because that's what you do with your friends. But yeah, we just wanted to update you.
To let you know we found it. And
we found it, but I want him to tell it because it was so horrible and great.
I'm perfectly happy with cornflakes.
It tastes like it needs sugar and a banana.
I love this. This is my midnight snack. I'm not kidding.
It tastes like it should be Frosted Flakes, but it's not.
I buy like boxes of really boring cereal so that at midnight when I'm hungry again, I will eat that instead of anything else in my house.
As a punishment?
Yes.
Or because you love yourself or you love
It's
it?
because I'm trying to love myself, and so I'm not going to eat the 25 pounds of Halloween candy that I bought myself for my birthday at midnight. I'm going to try and eat those at normal hours, and then at midnight when I'm hungry, I can eat cornflakes.
But you still enjoy this.
I still enjoy it. It is still like a snack I will reach for, but it is in lieu of bad for you snacks.
All right.
It's the way that some people, some girls on Instagram will freeze a banana and then mush it up and add peanut butter and call it ice cream.
I do that with cookies. I make cookies out of bananas. What? Bananas out of cookies. What? Cookies out of bananas. Alright.
Exactly.
This is okay.
I'm like too happy to be eating this.
I'm pretty hungry, so I'm gonna eat the whole thing. But
yeah. We haven't had dinner yet.
Yeah. And we picked a really good time.
I know.
For this podcast. Most of the time we're like during the day, but not today. Not today.
No, next dinner time. Murder.
Murder dinner. Murder for dinner.
Ew. Okay.
I'm gonna say knife on the table, dry, knife on the table.
Knife on the table, dry for sure. If you want, dry cornflakes are only good for becoming cereal with milk or becoming breading for something else.
Yeah, it's like
it really is like an in between.
It's like eating panko breadcrumbs and expecting them to be good. But this is like when you put panko breadcrumbs in a bowl with milk and you're like, well, milk's good.
I also will just eat oyster crackers. Like, not in a soup. I will just eat oyster crackers.
But oyster crackers are delicious.
But they're just nothing. They're nothing. It's flour and water. That's it.
No, they're great.
I know, they're amazing.
But again, I subsisted on saltines for so long.
Saltines are also great.
They are great. That's like, I literally was tweeting about it the other day. I'm just like, I'm eating a whole sleeve of these.
Yeah, I had a really bad hangover a couple weeks ago, and I just ate a whole sleeve of saltines for dinner.
I didn't even have a hangover. I was just not feeling good. Also, I don't get hangovers. I don't believe in them. They're against my religion.
So I just tell them to go away.
There's not a lot in my involved in my religion.
Mm-hmm. But one thing
is
banning hangovers.
No hangovers and no peas or onions.
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay. And no assholes.
It's a good religion.
I mean, you can have your own asshole,
but don't like
be an
personify an asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a picture by my bed of Buddha, and it says, "Don't be a dick."
That's perfect. So to go with our bland corn cereal,
which I'm gonna finish.
It's good. We bring it all the way back to the 1870s to the Bender family.
I remember those days.
You know. Back when slavery was just recently made illegal.
Jim Crow.
Yeah.
Actually, maybe not Jim Crow.
I don't think
not
yet. That was like 20s to 40s.
So maybe
there was something else offensive that took this place.
Definitely something offensive every day, all day, every day.
So, back in the 1870s, America had all of this land that it had acquired through the Louisiana Purchase, the Mexican Indian American War. I added too many words to that.
And also good old-fashioned
manifest destiny, which is just America's way of saying, we are going to take this. Thank you.
We're going to push off all the indigenous people.
We're going to push all these people onto the Trail of Tears.
So sad.
Make them all walk far, far away from where we want to be now, and then once they're there, tell them to also walk far, far away because we want to be here now. It's a terrible time.
Terrible time. Not so much, well, no, you're white too. It's just a terrible time.
This was the time before women were people. They were still, considered your property.
This girl's a pretty big person.
So the Bender family, so it's the 1800s. So in 1862, the Homestead Act happens because America has all this land, and they're like, what the fuck? We need people to, farm it and live on it so that the indigenous people don't come in and take the land that we took from them back.
That worry that you have when you take something unjustly.
Yeah,
and
that's not yours.
We took it unjustly, so we better
gotta protect it.
Protect the fact that we're wrong.
But so they were just giving away 160 acres of land to any adult man who could.
Wouldn't it have been great if they could have just given it back to the people that were
just be like, hey guys, be part of our country, and then we all can live on this land, and you can live here, and we'll live over there. But no, because the white man.
The white devil.
It's true. But yeah, they literally were just like, here's land, you have to move to this part of buttfuck America to claim your land, but then you get all this free land.
Right, because there is literally nothing out there at this point.
Yeah, it was free as long as you agreed to live there for 5 years and work the land. So you had to live there and either build something or get a farm going or something so that it would.
This is not an option I want.
Generate income.
I don't want to do it.
No, and also you had to travel out to Kansas, and this was before. I mean, I think there were trains, but they weren't very extensive.
I feel like they're still laying down trains at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, there are.
Yeah, it's the 1870s. There are the East Coast has trains, but trains that go all the way across the country are not a thing. So you have to get in your horse-drawn wagon with everything you own and just move west.
It's just not I mean, can you imagine I'm just looking at my books alone. How am I going to get that into a wagon? This is just one room full of books.
Nope. Nope.
No.
Yeah. So the Bender family, and I put family in air quotes because.
Oh yeah. Do you want to discuss?
Yes.
Okay.
So we can't. It's later found out that if any of them were at all biologically related, it was probably the ma and the daughter.
Right.
Were actually mother and daughter. But other than that, there's speculation. So there's 4 of them. There's Ma, Pa, Kate, and the boy. whose name I don't remember.
They're supposed to be like a father and a mother and 2 kids.
Yeah, John.
But like older kids, like
in their teens or like early 20s. It's not,
like adolescence to early adulthood.
Yeah. And so Pa claims one plot of land, and John, the son, claims another that's adjoining, but they never do anything with it.
But they also think that it's possible that they were both like just two couples.
Dudes. Yeah, that it was Ma and Pa were a couple, and then Kate and John were a couple, and they were just traveling as a
family
to garner sympathy, support. I don't know.
People, I guess, just easier to explain that.
It's probably less weird at this time to be like, oh, we're just a family all traveling together, than to be like.
Plus, I think she was trying to work an angle of her being a single woman.
Yes, that was heavy. So Kate is also a spiritualist, and she's big into like psychic readings and seances, and
which was a very big thing in those days.
Yeah.
Too.
Oh yeah, this was when, and this especially in like these small communities, to have someone who was like, ooh, I'll be a spiritual healer. It was still like a really popular thing because modern medicine had not advanced very far.
Well, also there's just not the accessibility.
Yeah.
Like if you were in a bigger town, if you were in a town city, or you could probably go see a doctor or whatever form of doctor that is at the time.
Yeah,
right?
or you had access to like a church of some kind, and you could consult a priest or a preacher or something about what
was happening,
mental problems you needed to deal with.
Whereas if you're isolated,
if you're out homesteading,
you have like
there's whatever 4 families have also settled near you, and you all have to band together and be like, okay, we'll figure this out together, or you just have to be like, no, fuck everyone.
Yeah.
So Kate would like not tout, that's the wrong word. Market, I'll say.
Yeah.
She marketed her skills and herself, and so the family built a 1-room house. It was just like a big giant house. Literally, I thought of the Hateful Eight because it's just one big ass room.
Right. Kind of partition.
Yeah, they had a big canvas curtain in the middle, and so you'd enter through the front, which was like a store. And also an inn, but an inn in the sense that they had like blankets and stuff, and you could stay the night on the floor.
Right. And like a little kind of like food area.
Yeah. They had like, because they had farm animals and they, I presume, grew crops. And then behind the curtain was where the family like lived and slept and stuff.
Right.
So this is where in Kansas is it? It's now Cherryvale, Kansas. In Labette County. I have no idea where that is in Kansas.
I'm sure it's quite lovely.
So they build this house, and Kate draws in customers with her healing and psychic abilities, and usually she's drawing in men who are traveling alone. And almost always the men would opt to stay the night if they came and like got a meal and got a reading.
I wonder why. Because she real cute, yo.
Yeah.
She real cute.
And so it was like pretty normal for people to go west and then never be heard from again because there were like bandits and weather and Indians and animals and like dysentery. Like, we've all played Oregon Trail. It's fucking hard.
I haven't, but yes. But also, I think that if you wanted to disappear, you could too.
It was so much easier. Well, this is the time where like
if you wanted to do like a fresh
traveled,
start,
but it took a while.
Right. But there's a million things that could have happened to you. You could also just be electing to have a fresh start.
Yeah, you could just be like, oh, I just decided to never speak to my family again, so I never spoke to my family
again. So it wasn't
again.
uncommon.
The end. For people to just like drop off the map, basically. But in 1873, a well-known physician vanished after stepping off the train in the town that the Bender family was living in. And so that immediately draws suspicion because both of his brothers are well-to-do. One of them's an attorney and the other one's a colonel. So they're like top-tier people. One of them's a senator. Yeah, he's the senator of Kansas. And then the other one's a colonel.
Not the best idea to do this one.
And it's like, this is also a time where like the Benders had no way of knowing any of this, you know?
Yeah.
Like, they were just murdering people so that they could take their money. And that is what is happening here, is they essentially, the Benders set up like a murder basement.
Yeah, they would be behind, like, somebody would be eating dinner
and they would, like, hit them over the head with something hot, like heavy, a hammer or something, and then pull them back down to it through a trapped door to what was described as a disgusting, bloody basement.
Yeah, I imagine things like being pickled and
maybe some stuff being stored.
Yeah, like, you know,
but like
great look. It's not a
no, it's not good. It's definitely dark. There's no light. If any light, there's like an oil lamp. And so after this physician disappears, the town is like, oh, well, we have to search every home because there's only like 20 of us living here. So if we just search everywhere, eventually we probably will find it. And they say this at a town meeting that Pa and John attend, and then the weather gets bad. And so they're like, oh, well, we'll do this when it's better, when it stops raining or whatever.
Right.
But in that time, the Benders flee. They just disappear.
Kind of smart.
That is very smart.
Kind of smart.
Like, it's a good plan. It's really a good plan, especially for the time. And so someone noticed that they fled because there were just a bunch of, like, farm animals wandering around their property starving to death because nobody... I think there
wasn't there, like, a cow, like, screaming?
Yeah.
Because, like, I think it had to be milked.
It had to be milked, yeah. Which is very painful. Yeah, and so someone from the town comes over and then inspects the house briefly and is like, oh, they disappeared. They took their wagon and apparently, like, nothing else. Everything else, they pretty much left. So then they go in and dig deeper and find this trapdoor and this terrifying, gross, bloody basement and are like, well, there've got to be bodies somewhere.
And there are.
And so then they turn to the field, which somehow is always freshly tilled. And I don't know a ton about farming, but I know you don't have to constantly be tilling soil.
I don't know that about it at all.
And so, it's always freshly plowed, and they dug through that, and it, like, pretty much immediately found York's body.
Yeah, didn't they find, like, a toe, like, sticking up or something?
Yeah, it, like, they did not bury them particularly deep.
Well, I feel like they got cocky. For a little bit.
They definitely did, because they estimate that they probably killed, like, 30 people.
Yeah,
in the time that they were, like, active. They found at least a dozen. It was, like, around a dozen in the field.
They found, like, a small child because she was traveling with her father.
And they would just kill anyone. And their whole MO was, like, we're just gonna kill these travelers and take everything and throw their body in this pile.
Yeah.
And so they find all these bodies and they're like, oh, well, the Benders did it. But they can't find the Benders. They are nowhere to be found. No one has any recollection of them. And then for the next, like, 40 years, this story becomes huge. It gets to, like, Chicago, the East Coast. People flock to this homestead and then take pieces of it as souvenirs. So there's actually nowhere. That's my favorite thing. The Catholic Church does it all the time, where they're like, oh, we have these saints' bones on display, and then people will come up and be like, oh, that's great, I'll take one. It's like, what are you doing?
Don't take
Why are you doing this?
It's
sacred. Like, why are you taking parts of this murder house?
Have you watched any horror movie?
Ever.
But, you know, I understand.
So, all these people come and flock and take the house, so there's no one even knows where it happened anymore, because it was stripped clean. And they moved the house off the foundation to look in the basement more, so it already was moved, and then it was just stripped for parts.
There is a movie about the Benders that came out in, like, 2016. I haven't seen it. And there's, like, a bazillion, like, Evil Ken on Investigation Discovery has a thing about it and everything, but this is supposed to be one of the families. I think more Shawnee Bean Clan, which we should totally talk about, which is a family of murderers, but we can talk about that another day, maybe during Christmas or something. But Texas Chainsaw Massacre is supposed to be based on a, like, some people will say Shawnee Bean, and some people will say the Bender family. I don't know that we have any cannibalism in...
Not here. There's no evidence of that.
I feel like the cannibalistic aspect of Texas Chainsaw would be like more the Shawnee Bean.
Oh yeah.
But
it's because like
the idea of family killing together and being like that stealthy and like having a whole system, I feel like is very Bender.
Oh yeah. It was they had a whole, it was down, and it like Ma, and this was another thing why they immediately were like, oh, it's the Benders. I mean, between like finding them gone and digging up all the bodies, multiple people.
Why would they suspect that if there was just a whole bunch of bodies?
But multiple people in town would tell stories about like going there for the first time and how they tried to get them to sit in the seat by the canvas curtain, and how they were like, oh no, I don't want to sit there. Like multiple people were like, yeah, I decided not to sit there, and then the mother freaked out and got real irate and real aggressive and real abusive and like made it a super hostile, uncomfortable situation. And then they found the murder hole and all the dead bodies, and we're like, oh, that's how they murdered people.
I think there was also like a guy that actually got hit on the head, and then they were like, oops.
Never mind. What was the mistake?
And I think he like recalled it later.
Yeah.
He goes, now I think maybe but like.
Yeah.
Like he had caught her, like
mid.
It was like, she's like, what? Nothing.
Yeah. So they disappear, and then there are like reports that maybe Ma killed Pa in some kind of struggle like years later, and that's when all the stuff about like they were never really related comes out, and you find out that like Kate and John were definitely a couple, but still nobody was able to like find them and bring them to justice in any way. They just disappeared into the night, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's even theories that like they committed
more
crimes other places. I mean, it's just a lot of speculation, because nobody knows.
Jesus.
But Kate was supposed to be very like
like a
gorgeous
vixen
and like very smart, and like had all the guys in the like vicinity like wrapped around her finger, and like marriage proposals and weird stuff. So I feel like that would be the reason why she'd be like, that's my brother, not my husband.
Oh yeah.
Or it could have been her brother lover.
It could have been her brother lover, but also Ma and Pa were not like they were married. Maybe we don't even know that.
Or maybe Kate and Ma were. You know what? I'm just gonna mix it up.
Could just be a whole group of gay people hating everyone else because they're so gay.
Or
it's not.
It could just be like an orgy. Maybe it was a commune, like a very small commune.
An extremely small commune.
A very like small cult.
But yes, they did it apparently for the money and the stuff that they stripped off the bodies. Yeah. And so they got like supplies and farm animals and a few $1,000s, which at the time is like nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah, but like what are you doing with this money? What are they doing? Are they like walking around with like new stuff? Probably not.
Think probably they were hoarding it, and then I feel like they had to have known that there'd be a day when they had to just get the fuck out, when they just had to like
because
leave.
It didn't seem like they cared about like building up their farm too
much,
right? Like they bought animals and stuff like that, but
well, they had the two plots, so they had
focused on one, right?
Yeah, they had like 320 acres in total, which is a lot of space. That is a lot of space.
They could have done a lot of stuff with that.
Yeah, and instead they just built this like one room house. That was literally one room.
It just seems like there should have been a big
more. If they were really gonna go and stay there, it would have been
like they should have built a bigger house, another
house. Yeah, built a store separate from like a store-in type.
But they wanted to be like close to it.
Yeah,
and like
that's
live around
the minute. Yeah, the minute that they were like, we built this one house and then put a big canvas curtain through it, I was like, no, none of this is okay.
No.
This is all weird.
Because, like, then they have to sleep next to these guys.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
girls,
Well, but it's still, yeah, and it's, you know, again, like, there were bandits just, like, roaming around, so who's to say bandits wouldn't come in and just murder all of them?
Well, I guess they weren't scared because they were the...
They were the murderers,
They were
yeah.
the scariest
it was,
thing out
yeah.
there.
It
Probably
was
not
nothing
the
can hurt
scariest
me.
thing, but, you know, monster does not scared by monster? I don't know, like...
I don't know if they would have been freaked out, or if they would have just, like...
Maybe that is why they were concerned. Maybe that's why they're like...
They were like, we'll just murder everyone.
Just keep everyone together. So
And
like
murder
close,
everyone who's not us.
Yeah, in close-knit, like, close quarters so that we can keep track of each other and protect each other. I don't know. It was just so much... It's just so weird.
It's so weird. It's also great because it's one of the, like... It's solved. We know who committed all these murders.
100%.
But then they just disappeared. Like, then they just went away. And we, like, no... There's no real closure there.
Yeah, there's closure in the fact that it's not like Jack the Ripper where you're
like, where it's like, oh,
who it is.
yeah.
Even though there's a lot of speculation about who that
Who it could be.
But we know that this person did it. We just can't.
It's what bothers me is that there's just no trace of them. It's a bunch of speculation and a bunch of people, and it's like people were like saying they went as far as Alaska. Like there were some crazy stories that people told about them.
It's also weird because like during that time period, and not to again pull from like Shawnee Bean and stuff like that, but like the grandeur of the crimes or the amount of the crime or whatever, since there's like so much that's not like
fully
there anymore or that you can prove or any of that, like you don't even know how like it could be like nothing even remotely as big as they're saying it is, but it's so sensationalized and there's no it's not like now where it's like this is the crime and this is the crime scene photos and this is the that.
Exactly, and here's all the DNA that links to this and this and this. There's nothing.
No clue.
No, the house is literally in like hundreds of places.
And like I don't know what they did with the bodies. How did they identify these bodies? Were they organized?
What did they do after? Were there autopsies or did they just bring them to the families and say, "Here's a body, bury it"?
When you're talking about a time period where they like legends. I mean, like legends are still a thing now, but like legends were like a thing.
It was a big thing back then.
Yeah, and it's also like political like things, you know, like about, you know, women and the like, I mean that could also be a thing.
I would say this is definitely because this is just before like Lizzie Borden happened, so this is the same time period where it's like women, they're just hysterical, they're just crazy. So like if Ma and Kate say went off together and continued murdering, I would not be surprised.
I wouldn't either, but I also wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't as many people that they killed, as big of a system as it was, and also if it wasn't like some kind of like blown up cautionary tale to tell people about like moving out west,
going out west, trusting strangers,
staying places. Women on the road, can they be trusted?
Blah, blah, blah. For a real siren song.
Yeah, so not that I'm saying that any like.
It could be.
It could be.
But that's
exactly the thing.
Literally have no idea. And this is one of those things where like I do kind of hope that DNA testing will bring some shit out soon.
But I don't even know, like, do we have any of the bodies? What was the protocol back then? I don't think they saved anything. And if you can't find the exact spot of the house, I doubt you can find the graves.
Well, those we might be able to find easier. It just depends on what they did with the bodies.
That's what I'm
saying.
Like,
is not clear.
Do they dig them up and go, this one's yours.
Here.
This one's yours.
Yeah. Did they pass them along? Because it's also like a lot of these were people who were traveling through to like somewhere else.
Did they identify these victims? I know they identified some.
A few.
They identified, you know, the brother, and they identified the kid and the dad. The dad, because they were very
they were traveling together and it was easy.
But like I don't know, like I have so many questions.
I just have a lot of questions. But I like also
want to solve it.
Love it.
I love it. I also want to solve it. I want to write a movie about I know there's like obviously a bazillion Texas Chainsaw Massacres, and then there is a Bender family movie. But
no Homestead Massacre.
Massacre.
I really got very obsessed with the idea of the Homestead Act and the fact that like that alone was a thing where they were like, we'll just give you land. We'll just give you a bunch of land and you just have to promise to be there for 5 years.
But don't they do something similar to that in Alaska now? Isn't it like...
Oh, maybe.
Like you get a certain amount of land and you have to just promise that, or not promise, but like you have to be okay with them like drilling.
Oh!
So I think that's why some people move there, because there's like some kind of like income and land.
Yeah. You probably get well, because that is the thing here was like you had to pay the state. It might have been the state. It might have been I think it's probably the federal government at that time, because states were still figuring shit out. But you had to pay them like a percentage of whatever income you made based off of the land. It was like 0.2% or something stupid.
I wonder what they were paying them. Here's one body. Here's a toe.
Yeah, because like I have to fill out a bunch of like boring government paperwork at my job, and it's like you have to detail, like I work for a company that makes beer, and so we're like changing our prices. It has to be like, this is our beer name, this is the type of beer, this is the alcohol percentage, this is how much we, and it's like 17 fucking things we have to fill out, and it's like, so did they just like send a sheet that was like sold beets and had some money? Like, what did you do?
Spring.
Yeah. Hard frost, no farm. Like.
And who's like, are they like coming out there and like checking?
Having like assessors come out? No, probably not.
And like somebody like collecting on this?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Is the Pony Express time?
If you know about homesteaders, we want to know. We have a lot of questions, and if you would like to like tell us,
please do.
Tell us listen. in a letter or recording. We could Skype you in. We don't understand. Okay,
please help.
Help.
It makes no sense.
Help. I don't understand. But they are a messed up family.
I think that would be interesting too. Like if there was ever a horror movie about this, it would be so interesting to dive into like the dynamics between the four of them.
Well, apparently there is one. I haven't seen it though. It's called Bender.
Isn't it?
It's called Bender.
And it's not about the robot from...
It is totally about that.
Oh, okay.
I'm just kidding. Let me get the exact name. But I don't know how it is because I haven't seen it. So I don't... why can't I find it now? Just talk
Bloody... Oh, no, that's Evilkin episode. Never mind.
Yeah. Which, I don't know if you've ever seen that. It's kind of... it's kind of a good one. It's about, like, families that kill together. Yes. So, Bender is what it's called, and it was made in 2016. And, it's about... They're called the first serial killing family.
Yeah.
It's got Bruce Davison, Linda Pearl, James Karen, and Buck Taylor. I don't know a lot of these. Kate Bender is played by Nicole Dellen. And I really don't know any of her other work. But it's
interesting.
It's there.
It exists.
One of the reviews says wasted potential.
Oh yeah, I'll just read the IMDb summary, which is the unsettling true story of America's first serial killer family. A troubled doctor searches for patients swallowed by the prairie and encounters the Benders, homesteaders trapped by a life of unspeakable sin. That does not sound like what I want. Also, it's only 80 minutes long, which, like, not to throw shade, but any movie under 90 minutes.
This one review on IMDb says, creepy enough in real life. Why all the changes? Question mark.
Oh no. Oh god. Yeah, see, I want like a Brian De Palma psychological thriller of this story.
G.W. Trout said, The real life story of the Benders is creepy enough on its own, so why did the producers of this movie have to change so many things? Just about the only things correct in this are their names.
So, maybe don't watch the Bender movie. Probably not a good
I really
depiction.
want to see it. I love it. And then I really want to write my own.
Yeah, they are fascinating. It's really
That's so funny.
so interesting. Oh my god.
I just love it. Actually, just encourages me. Really, it really does. You just tell me it's the worst, like,
and I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, like Blake and Zane were like, Hellfest is the worst, and I was like, I watched it the other day, and I was like, it's not bad. I might watch it again. Had some endearing moments at the end. It really did, actually.
Nice. That's lovely.
I would suggest Hellfest, and I'll probably watch Benders. It's just Benders. And I'll report back and tell you how I feel about it. 80 minutes of it.
It's 80. I lose hope when movies are under 90 minutes. It either means it's for children, because their attention, like, getting them through a 2-hour-long movie is a lot.
Even though kids' movies now are so freaking long.
Kids' movies are so long, and they have so much, and I watched Wonder Park and cried and never watched Wonder Park. It's very sad. Okay. It's good, but it's very sad. Anyway, but when, like, an adult movie is 80 minutes long, the only thing I think is that they had to cut the shit out of that to make it an actually watchable movie.
Yeah, there was some bad stuff.
There's just some stuff they had to move and rearrange and get out. And
because as a filmmaker, there's usually stuff that I'm like, I guess
I wish this could stay. Why can't my movie be 3.5 hours long? But when it's an 80-minute movie, because 5 of those minutes are credits. Yeah. Like,
Dang. So I will
report, maybe watch it.
No, I'm gonna watch it.
Okay.
I just don't know how fast I'm gonna watch it. Let's face it.
That's very fair.
I had to watch Parasite today.
It's definitely Benders is one of those, like, you can rent it on YouTube for $3, so it's there.
But my horror suggestion, it's not really a horror movie, but I would say go see Parasite for sure. Okay. For shizzle my nizzle y'alls.
Yeah, my suggestion is not to watch Wonder Park.
Don't watch
Wonder Park.
Let us know about Benders if you get there before me. And I would suggest Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original, because I don't know if you know this, there's not actually a lot of blood in it.
No, it's a good suspense movie.
It is. And I do like the new one because I like watching Jessica Biel run through a forest in a tank top.
That's why I like the new House of Wax, because Paris Hilton gets decapitated.
While giving a blowjob, right? Oh,
that was something else.
She was giving a blowjob in it, but she didn't get decapitated.
She does not get decapitated then. She gets decapitated like 20 minutes later. Yeah, and Jared Padalecki's in it, and that's really why I like the new House of Wax, even though the Vincent Price one is very good.
Vincent Price is classic.
The new one is like...
But there's no blowjob.
Exactly, and Paris Hilton's fake plastic head is not there, so...
It's not in there.
What's the point?
But we could CGI it in there.
Ooh.
Don't do that.
I just picture Vincent Price, like, holding her head.
But, like, for no apparent reason.
Just in one random cutscene, just him holding it up, like, it's like a trophy.
He's like supposed to be holding a cup of tea and it's just
Paris Hilton's head.
Like, are you doing anything?
What? No? Okay. Sipping.
This is why I can't have nice things.
Someone CGI that for me.
Please! I would do it if I knew how to do things.
You know how to animate? Yes. I don't.
Somebody out there knows. Make our dreams come true. Oh, God. I think that's our show.
Yeah, that's the Bloody Benders.
I'm gonna say knife down for the Benders.
Knife down.
Because murder.
All around bad.
Also, they're kind of cool.
It's
so
like, knife up for resourcefulness.
Yeah. Knife up for resourcefulness.
They figured out how to make a few $1,000s without doing any farm work, which is pretty impressive, right? But also bad.
Knife on the table for cornflakes for me.
Knife up for cornflakes.
Hard knife up. On the table for dry for me as well. But knife up for all of you guys out there listening. Thank you so much for continuing to listen, and for rating and reviewing and sharing all your stuff. And continue to do that, please.
Yeah, support us in all the ways you can.
Yeah, and follow us on all social media at Pod Serial Killer. Also, we'd love to hear from you, what you want to hear, what you like, what serials you want us to do, what true crime you want us to do.
Yeah, I would enjoy the challenge of throwing us some serials. Just throw us some serials and we'll pick murders.
Or some pairings.
Yeah.
Like, throw us some pairings. Just like let us know facts and stuff like that. We would love
fun facts
to like plug your
engage with you. We want to engage with our audience.
Yeah.
So engage with us.
Yeah, please engage. Especially if you know about homesteading.
Yes.
You know, I mean, if you know about other stuff,
in-depth knowledge on homesteading, though, you can find me on Twitter at Maria Immortality.
Maybe explain to her. I might ask for that, and then
I'll give a brief summary to Anastasia.
Yeah, I might go. I wanted to know, but I didn't really want to know.
I said I wanted to know, and then I got way too deep into this, and now I'm fucked.
Now I'm done. You can find me at Anastasia W on Twitter, at Anastasia Wash on Instagram, and on Anastasia TV on YouTube.
And our other podcast, One More Drink, comes out on Fridays, and you can find that at One More Drink Pod on all social medias.
And they can find you.
Oh yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Maria Immortality.